The National Electrical Code, specifically Section 605.7, addresses partitions, not desks or other furniture. A partition, as defined within the code, is a removable wall or panel that divides or encloses an area. This is distinct from a desk, which serves a different functional purpose. When considering electrical connections for desks using metal flex conduit, it's important to adhere to the relevant sections of the NEC that pertain to general wiring methods and flexible metal conduit installations. Firstly, the type of metal flex conduit used must be approved for the specific application and environment. Secondly, the conduit must be properly supported and secured to the building structure as required by the code. Thirdly, the conductors within the conduit must be appropriately sized for the load they will carry, taking into account ampacity ratings and rating factors. Fourthly, proper grounding and bonding techniques must be employed to ensure electrical safety and minimize the risk of shock. Fifthly, all connections must be made within approved electrical boxes or enclosures. Sixthly, strain relief must be provided at the point where the flexible metal conduit enters the electrical box to prevent stress on the conductors. Seventhly, the installation must comply with all applicable local codes and regulations which may have additional requirements beyond the NEC. Eighthly, it is crucial to use listed or labeled components that are suitable for the intended purpose. Ninthly, the flexible metal conduit should be installed in a neat and workmanlike manner, avoiding sharp bends or kinks that could damage the conductors. Tenthly, after the installation is complete, it is recommended to test the circuit to ensure proper operation and verify the integrity of the grounding system. Furthermore, it's important to consider the voltage drop in the circuit, especially if the distance between the electrical panel and the desks is significant. Excessive voltage drop can lead to reduced performance of connected equipment and potential overheating. The NEC provides guidelines for calculating voltage drop and recommends measures to minimize it, such as using larger conductor sizes. When selecting conductors for the installation, it's essential to choose the appropriate insulation type based on the environmental conditions such as temperature and moisture. Some common insulation types include THHN, THWN, and XHHW. The ampacity of the conductors must be sufficient to carry the expected load without exceeding the conductor's temperature rating. The NEC provides ampacity tables that specify the allowable ampacities for different conductor sizes and insulation types, taking into account factors such as ambient temperature and the number of conductors in a raceway or cable. The grounding system plays a critical role in electrical safety. The purpose of grounding is to provide a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source, allowing the overcurrent protective device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, to trip and energize the circuit. The grounding electrode system typically consists of a grounding electrode conductor connected to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod, metal water pipe, or concrete encased electrode. The size of the grounding electrode conductor is determined by the size of the service entrance conductors. Bonding is the process of connecting all metal parts of the electrical system together to create an electrically continuous path. This includes metal conduit, electrical boxes, and equipment enclosures. Bonding helps to minimize voltage differences between metal parts, reducing the risk of shock. The NEC specifies the requirements for bonding different types of metal enclosures and equipment. Overcurrent protection is provided by circuit breakers or fuses, which are designed to trip or blow when the current exceeds a predetermined level. The size of the overcurrent protective device must be matched to the ampacity of the conductors being protected. The NEC provides guidelines for selecting the appropriate overcurrent protective device for different types of circuits and equipment. Arc fault circuit interrupters, also known as arc fault circuit breakers or SIs, provide additional protection against electrical fires caused by arcing faults. SIs are designed to detect arcing faults, which are characterized by erratic and intermittent current flow, and to trip the circuit before a fire can start. The NEC requires SIs to be installed in certain locations, such as bedrooms and living areas, to provide enhanced fire safety. Ground fault circuit interrupters, also known as ground fault circuit breakers or GFCIs, provide protection against electric shock caused by ground faults. GFCIs are designed to detect ground faults, which occur when current leaks from the circuit to ground and to trip the circuit before a person can be injured. The NEC requires GFCIs to be installed in certain locations such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas to provide enhanced shock protection. Electrical boxes are used to enclose and protect electrical connections. They are typically made of metal or plastic and come in various sizes and shapes. The NEC specifies the requirements for electrical boxes, including their construction, installation, and grounding. Conduit fittings are used to connect sections of conduit together and to connect conduit to electrical boxes and equipment. They are typically made of metal or plastic and come in various types, such as couplings, connectors, and elbows. The NEC specifies the requirements for conduit fittings, including their construction, installation, and grounding. Flexible metal conduit, also known as flex, is a type of conduit that is flexible and can be easily bent to navigate around obstacles. It is typically used for short runs and in locations where rigid conduit is not practical. The NEC specifies the requirements for flexible metal conduit, including its construction, installation, and grounding. When working with electricity, it is essential to follow all safety precautions and to use appropriate personal protective equipment such as safety glasses, gloves, and insulated tools. Always de-energize the circuit before working on it and verify that it is de-energized using a voltage tester. If you are not qualified to work on electrical systems, it is best to hire a licensed electrician to perform the work. In summary, while NEC Section 605.7 does not directly apply to desks, the electrical connections to desks using metal flex conduit must comply with other relevant sections of the NEC, including those pertaining to wiring methods, grounding, overcurrent protection, and safety. Adhering to these requirements will ensure a safe and reliable electrical installation. It is also crucial to consult with local building codes, as they may have additional requirements.